What would possess someone to go this deep into the ocean on something that is controlled by a PlayStation controller?
One problem with what the Coast Guard said was there's only 3 operating subs in the world that can go to that depth. Okay, so even if they find our sub with
Ruslan.
A submarine went missing a day into an excursion in the deep seas of where the Titanic wreckage was. And now there is a crew of 5 people who are deep, deep, deep underwater and need to be rescued. But it is looking very grim, and Twitter has this trending as OceanGate. Not sure if you heard about this, but let me give you guys a little preface of who these folks are. So this is the business where they basically kind of jimmy rigged a submarine. They take people to the bottom of the Atlantic for an excursion on an excursion of seeing the wreckage of the Titanic. Now, these folks on this ship are all billionaires who, you know, are worth a ton of money, and it's not looking good. They only have about 50 hours of oxygen left. So this is the company that did this.
Service. An experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Where do I sign?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, take your shoes off. That's customary.
Okay. Wow.
Now, when I heard about the story, I did not imagine this. Like, this seems like somebody you could put together in your backyard. I did not imagine this. And when I show you guys how deep this goes, your mind's gonna be blown, okay? So just bear with me.
Inside, the sub has about as much room as a minivan.
So this is not your grandfather's submersible. We only have one button. That's it. It should be like an elevator. You know, it shouldn't take a lot of skill.
The Titan is the only 5-person sub in the world that can reach Titanic depths, 2.4 miles below the sea.
2.4 miles below the sea.
It's also the only one with a toilet. Sort of. And yet, I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
And so these billionaires and millionaires pay $250,000 to go on this. I thought this was like a legit, Navy submarine. No, it's this, guys.
We can use these off-the-shelf components.
I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Bruh.
Come on!
Okay, so let me show you how deep they actually went. This is crazy sauce. Okay, watch this. This is how deep they went. You guys see this? 55 meters. All right. Louisiana. Okay, there's a Statue of Liberty. Okay, 93 meters. I'm going to show you the Eiffel Tower here in a moment. What would possess somebody in their right mind? There's the Eiffel Tower is at 324 meters. I've been to the top of the Eiffel Tower. It's beautiful. Okay, I'm going to speed this up a little bit for us. Okay, now keep watching. Okay, this is mad deep, yo. Look at this. What would possess someone to go this deep into the ocean on something that is controlled by a PlayStation controller or an Xbox controller? $250,000. Oh, it gets deeper, guys. This is crazy. Yeah, the ocean's definitely terrifying. Look at this. 2 miles underwater. Wow. Holy moly. If you're listening now, you should be paying. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's how deep it is, okay? It is not looking good for these folks. This is the last time they were spotted. Okay, there's their last time they were spotted was on social media.
From having been in it and having experienced it, and you talk about the mechanical issues, I know it's purely a guess, but what is your best guess?
I can tell you exactly. There's only a few possibilities. So this thing has 7 different ways to return to the surface, different ways of releasing ballast or inflating air balloons or using the propellers. So there's backups of backups of backups. So if it is not at
This dude apparently was 37 feet and had to return because of mechanical problems.
the surface, then only one of two things could have happened. Either it snagged on something, like a big fishing net or even part of the Titanic, or there was a leak, in which case it would implode instantly and it's over. So if you want to look optimistically at it, they lost power, but they have 3 more days of air and they're bobbing on the surface somewhere, and we just can't find them because they don't have power.
Yeah,
It's
I found
either-
it interesting that the Coast Guard there basically said this is a 2-pronged search. 1, potentially 2.5 miles beneath the sea,
Gosh
or
darn.
2, maybe somewhere at the top. And this area is so remote, it's possible.
But one problem with what the Coast Guard said was there's only 3 operating subs in the world that can go to that depth. Okay, so even if they find our sub with
There's only 3 operating subs that go. Are these people just looking for a thrill? Is this what happens when you get so much money? You're just bored and you're just looking for a thrill. So even if they found where they were, there's only 3 subs that can go that deep. Did I hear that correctly? This is, oh my gosh.
So even if they find our sub with the ping, with the sonar, there's absolutely nothing they can do about it.
Oh,
There's no
my
way to
gosh.
bring it back to the
It
surface.
is not looking good.
There's no way to let them escape. That the hatch, by the way, is sealed with 17 bolts from the outside. So there's no way to escape when you're inside to get out without a crew on the outside letting you out.
Hey, you want to see something kind of crazy? Over 75% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. Please consider subscribing and turning your bell notification on so that you don't miss anything we have going here. This is the gentlemen that are on it. I'll play you guys another video real quick. Check this out.
Of the 5 people missing on the sub, the only name we had up until now is a British billionaire named Hamish Harding. We now know there's a Pakistani businessman named Shahzada Dawood, as well as his 19-year-old son, Suleiman. There's
Oh man, the father and son are on this. Gosh darn it.
also a renowned French diver named Paul-Henri Nargeolet, and Stockton Rush, who is the founder of OceanGate Expeditions. Something interesting to note is that the French diver Paul-Henri has made more than 35 trips to the Titanic site. He is the director for underwater research for a company called RMS Titanic Inc. It's an American company.
Why would you want to go down there? For what? I'm sure there's amazing documentaries, probably ones that are in 3D. You could get the whole immersive experience at this point. Put on the new goggles from Apple and see the thing close up as if you're really there. Why go down here?
That owns the salvage rights to the wreck, and it displays many artifacts at Titanic.
Wait. Somebody owns the rights to the wreck? You can buy the rights to the Titanic wreck?
It's an American company that owns the salvage rights to the wreck, and it displays many artifacts at Titanic exhibitions.
So this dude owns the company that owns the rights to this is just, you just playing with nature, man.
First dive to the Titanic was July 1987, 2 years after the wreck was discovered. Now, there's a man named David Conconin, who's an attorney and an explorer that was supposed to be on this expedition, but pulled out last minute. Last night, he told News Nation that critical equipment that could be used to help recover the vessel is ready to be sent out, but there's a lack of urgency coming from U.S. officials. The U.S. Coast Guard said overnight they flew multiple aircrafts over the area, went missing, looking for signs of surfacing. And they said that their search was roughly about the size of Connecticut. Going forward, the Coast Guard plans to use more resources like vessels that can search underwater using sonar technology to expand their search. And as of right now, the missing 5 have less than 50 hours left of oxygen.
Less than 50 hours left of oxygen. And apparently the OceanGate advisor rips U.S. rescue response, but firm faces claim it took 8 hours to raise alarm. Wow. An advisor for OceanGate Expeditions blamed government bureaucracy for allegedly slowing down the rescue effort for the missing Titanic tourist submersible, but authorities claim the company waited 8 hours before reporting the disappearance. Why would they wait 8 hours? Oh man, I hate to turn on my conspiracy brain, but if these folks is worth billions, you would think that they would have access to every resource in the world, not just the Coast Guard. Can't they bring in some, I don't know, some mercenaries that know how to drive submarines and take them down there and help, Attorney David, I don't know how you say his last name, who pulled out of Sunday's dive at the last minute, told News Nation that the equipment and crew needed to rescue the 5 missing passengers cannot be deployed until the Coast Guard authorizes the mission. So apparently the Coast Guard has to do this whole thing, right? They are mobilized. They're sitting on the tarmac, ready to go. The equipment has been on the tarmac for hours. When I communicate with the U.S. government, I get out-of-office replies, not from everyone, but from key people that have a sign-off on that. That's unacceptable. I don't want to discourage the government officials that are helping because they're doing their jobs, but we need to do it quicker. Wow. The U.S. Coast Guard's repeatedly stated that its main focus at the moment is first locate the submersible before deploying any visible capable of rescuing those who vanished 370 miles off the coast of Newfoundland, Connecticut. Officials told the U.S. Mail on Tuesday that it took OceanGate Expeditions nearly 8 hours to report its missing 5-man tourist submersible after it lost contact with the vessel. Why would it take so long? At this point, like, every minute matters. OceanGate Expeditions is a private company that allows tourists to visit the infamous shipwreck submerged at around 8 a.m. Sunday. At around 9:45, the submersible lost contact with its accompanying ship, the Polar Prince, and it wasn't until 5:40 the officials received word of the missing Titan sub. What? Why? OceanGate and the Coast Guard did not immediately respond to the Post's request for this information. News of the delay comes as authority race against the clock to rescue the 5 passengers, with OceanGate noting that the submersible has at most 96 hours or 4 days. At most. My gosh. With time ticking, urged officials to speed up the search and have rescued capable submarines at its location. We have people whose lives are at stake. You have to move. We have assets that are ready to go, and they're sitting and waiting. Canadian and U.S. officials have launched a full-scale search of the area where the submersible was last located, with planes and ships deployed to look for the vessel. If they're underwater, man, apparently this is the Titanic, who is overseeing the search and rescue mission for the missing submersible, told reporters. Coast Guard has deployed multiple sonar buoys capable of detecting the submersible even at the most bottom of the Atlantic. It is possible that the Titan might have gotten stuck in the 111-year-old wreckage of the Titanic, lying 12,000 feet beneath the ocean. So it seems like the most working theory is that it got stuck and caught up in the Titanic. Experts have cautioned that few crafts can reach that depth, and even if they could, it's unlikely they could attach to the submersible and tow it up to the ocean surface. If the submersible was located at the wreckage site and pulled to safety, it would go down in history as the deepest ever rescue mission. Ah, man. Hopefully they figure this out. This is so sad. This is so sad. I feel terrible for these people. I feel so bad for these people, man. Prayers up for them. Hopefully they figure this out. But this is heartbreaking. Hey, this is a segment from our daily after party stream. Consider partnering with us online for as little as $5 a month to get access to these daily after party streams completely unedited. You'll also get access to our podcast as they are streamed live into the community before anyone else gets to see them, get to interact with our guests, get access to our private Discord server, and a discount code for our store for as little as $5 a month. Ultimately, that will help towards helping us continue contextualizing the gospel using media and podcast here on YouTube. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.